Humility, perseverance, and hard work have been her teammates in this journey. Nupur, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, Nupur. How are you? Glad to see you here.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes,
Hello.
you are audible and visible both.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the Lavasna room.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, yes, Nupur. I think your internet is unstable.
Yes, sir. Just give
Yes,
me a
yes.
few.
Now, yeah, yeah. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Yeah, yeah. Keep it like this only.
Uh,
Okay, pleasure to see you again, Nupur.
the pleasure is all mine, sir.
How are you? How are you doing?
It's going good, sir. Due to the COVID outburst in the academy, we all are locked down in the academy itself. So, uh, as far as no one is getting serious, in terms
Okay,
of health, I think it's okay.
okay, okay. Great, great.
I can
Take care
also
of
see
yourself.
one Poonam,
Yeah,
ma'am. Hello.
yeah, yeah. Poonam is there. Host, please unmute Poonam.
Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am. How are you, Poonam, ma'am?
I am good, sir. How are you? Hi, Nupur. Glad to see you again.
Uh, Thank
Really
you,
proud
ma'am.
of you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Okay, Nupur. Okay, Nupur. So guys, she is Nupur, our student, and she has connected from Lavasna. She stood at All India Rank 11. I'll hashtag it story of grit and determination. So we will be making it very, very informal and interactive. So tell us about how did you like? What was your feeling when you saw your name in the PDF?
Uh, Sir, you are already aware, and I want to tell others that I was working with Intelligence Bureau when the results came out. So I was in the office. I was just about to enter the office when one of my friends called me up and said the results have come. Since it was Tuesday, and usually the results come on Friday or Saturday, and it was I think around 11 a.m.
Okay.
So I was like, we have grown up. We are not kids. Please stop mocking. This can't happen. And I'm already getting late. Please let me go to the office. And I can't use my mobile phones or internet in my office. So it was kind of a blessing that he called me up. We both checked the results. And suddenly I got to know that I have secured a good rank. Sir, it was a very surreal moment. I didn't know what to do. The first thing I did was to inform my parents about the same, who immediately started crying, and I was not sure whether I should cry or I should laugh. What should be the reaction? And it actually went on for a couple of weeks. I was thinking that I was living some dream. It can't be true. I can't get selected. I can't become an IS officer with such a rank. So yes, it was good, sir.
Okay, lovely, lovely. So, at any point of your journey, did you believe that you can like make it to the top 10 or 11? Anytime you felt like this?
Frankly speaking, sir, I think the journey is all about Nishkam Karma, as has been specified by Bhagavad Gita. We should never expect that one can get such a rank or one should even get selected. When I was working for it, I was just working to improvise my own self. I was not thinking about the results at all. I was just thinking that, okay, herein, this is a journey wherein I am improving my own knowledge. I am becoming more aware. And that's all, sir. This thought never occurred to me that, yes, I can secure this rank. But yes, there was this self belief that if I work hard, then somehow, someday, I will achieve my dream.
Great, great. So one should focus on the process rather than the outcome. Will
Yes,
improve
sir.
keep posting, the results will always be wonderful. Okay. Next point I would like to ask from you is people get demotivation too frequently, and I think they become demotivated, depressed once when they will get some negative news at any stage of this exam. So how did you motivate yourself?
Sir, herein I would first like to share my own journey with the fellow aspirants over here. As you are aware, and I think Poonam ma'am is also aware, this was my sixth attempt. This was my last attempt. I reached till the stage of interview. I gave interview in my first attempt, but I couldn't clear prelims in my second attempt. In my third attempt, I again reached till interview, but failed in prelims again in the fourth attempt. In the fifth attempt, I again reached till the interview stage, but unfortunately, my name was not in the list. So this was my last and the final attempt. And fortunately and luckily, I got a rank for my own self in this attempt. Uh, Now coming to the question that yes, there are a lot of moments wherein we feel that whether it's worth it or it demands a lot of sacrifices from our front. It involves pain, it involves anxiety. But at the same time, I think becoming a civil servant is not an individual dream. It's a collective dream, which was not even not dreamt by just that individual, but also her parents, her family, her friends, her mentors, her teachers, as well as the various people associated with her life. I think the newspaper person who diligently delivered newspaper at the same time at my place was also hoping that I would do something with it. I would read it. I would somehow achieve my dream. I think the contribution of all these people helped me motivate. The other part, and I think the more important one was, why do you want to become a civil servant? Why? This is one of the questions which I think every one of us should first uh, think upon and then write it down on a sheet of paper and somehow paste it on the study wall, so that one is always motivated to achieve it. See, the why can be different for everyone. It can be status, it can be better career opportunities, it can be the service to the nation, or it can be money, or it can be your father or mother's dream, or it can be your own childhood dream. But at the end of the day, that reason should be strong enough to motivate you, to not let you deflect from the path uh, because of the pain or anxiety or the demotivational stuff that usually comes across.
Great, great. So self-motivation is important thing. Okay. Nupur, can you please tell us about your main the mark sheet? How much
Sure,
you
sir.
scored in essay and GS 1, 2, 3,
Uh,
4, your optional subject? For information of
just
all. Yeah.
sure, sir. I'm sorry, I don't remember the marks.
Okay,
The
okay.
in all the attempts I failed, I remember those marks, but
No, no,
not
only
this one.
only only in this attempt. I would like to know.
Yes, sir.
2019-20 attempt.
Hanji. Uh, Sir, I got 134 in essay,
Very good. Very good mark.
91 in GS paper 1, 97 in GS paper 2, 92 in GS paper 3, 142 in uh,
Paper
GS paper
4.
4 ethics.
Great,
Hanji.
yeah. Yes.
I got 142 in PubEd paper 1, 160 in PubEd paper 2. That means I got 302 in public administration. And I got 184 in personality test.
Yes, 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 yes. So
So it
public
was a big jump
administration.
from 116 to 184 this year, sir. And thanks to you, because you also played a big role in this thing, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Privilege is mine. And I told you that time also you should not go down below 185, if you remember exactly. Okay, and thanks to Poonam also. Poonam is here. Thanks to
Yes, Vivek sir as well, Poonam ma'am,
yeah, he'll
um,
join us.
the
Vivek sir will also
Vishnu
join us.
sir.
Yeah.
Hanji.
So now I come to the question which was given by Bhavya. How to make effective notes?
Um, Sir, it's usually a question that whether one should make notes out of every book that one is studying. So my answer is no. If a book or if a current affair notes, printed notes of around 100 pages are getting compressed in say 15 to 20 pages by your own handwritten notes, then go for the same. Otherwise, just underline the same and do revise it from that book or that notes itself. Uh, Please make sure that you are first going through the material at least twice, then pick up a pen and a short notebook, and then write down whatever you remember from those notes or from those material. I think this is the best way to make the notes, because if you can't memorize the things just in just 15 minutes after studying the same, you will not be able to reproduce the other things in the mains examination hall. And you should just go on compressing the notes in such a way that by the time you reach your mains examination, that becomes only a handful of sheets.
Okay, so digital tools versus hand and paper method, the traditional method.
Sir, as long as UPSC is not moving online in terms of the mains examination, I think in terms of mains, yes, go for the pen and paper traditional method. But digital method are also very good methods. I use them myself in my interview preparation. But I think pen and paper method helps, because when we write something with our own hand, uh, that somehow strucks with us in our memory, and it becomes easy to memorize when the thing is written in one's own handwriting. So it also improves the handwriting at the end of the day and the
Yes,
speed as
yes,
well.
yes, and
So
time
it has
management.
added benefits.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. When were you serious enough? When you thought, like, this time I'll crack it? That feeling came to your mind and heart, or you were always like unsatisfied and saying that ये भी छूट गया, वो भी छूट गया, अभी हुआ नहीं है, इस type से?
Sir, I think in almost all my attempts, I was like, this is my final attempt, I'll crack it. But but the UPSC syllabus is designed in such a way, and it is so dynamic in nature, that it's not in our hands to complete the whole thing. And somehow it sticks that, okay, I have not done this. I have somehow not paid heed to this section this much. But at the end of the day, I think when I was writing this year's exam, I was, uh, I was like, this is all that I could have done.
Okay, okay. So how was this attempt different from others? Like, did you revamp your strategy, or you got hold of some very good study material, or what you say, the gem?
Uh, Sir, fortunately, whenever I wrote mains, I have cleared the same. The margins, of course, differed a lot, but I was sure that whatever strategy that I am following for mains is working. So whenever I used to clear prelims, I used to say this to my friends that I'm giving interview this year. I'm not sure about whether I'll be getting selected or not, but yes, interview is a short thing. Regarding this year's revamping of the strategy, sir, I worked on the areas wherein I thought I was deficient. My time management was a big issue in the last year's attempt. In 2018 attempt, I was not able to complete the paper to my own satisfaction. So this year, I made it a point that I am writing a number of exams, a number of mock test papers, so as to make sure that I'll be able to complete the papers to my own satisfaction on time. This was the biggest thing that I did. So apart from that, I also worked on very small things like the font size or the presentation of my answers, or the number of diagrams that I was making in the answer sheet. So I think one should stick to her own strategy, but at the same time, do some incremental changes if they are not uh, paying the results.
Okay. So these
So
are the
there is a
must.
question. So there is a
Uttam.
question asked to me from Uttam.
Yeah.
Hi Uttam, if you are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
How?
explain how to select an optional subject?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Please tell us how to select an effective optional subject, or what to say, the maximum scoring optional subject.
Sir, I think this saying one optional subject to be maximum scoring is not the correct way of explaining the same.
Yeah.
Choosing an optional subject should be an individual decision. It should depend on the interest and inclination one has towards the subject. I think for choosing an optional subject, the mark should not be a criteria. So, for example, PubEd was not doing well when I opted for it, but I chose the optional subject based on my own interest uh,
Okay.
and my own understanding of this subject. And thanks to public administration only that I am sitting here, I got the highest marks in public administration this year. So, in spite of it being not so rewarding to me in my earlier attempts, I was able to do uh, a lot more this year because I stuck to it and because of my interest in the same. So I would like to advise that please go for the optional subject either on the basis of the interest and inclination you have. For deducing that whether you have an interest in the subject, I think there is a lot of offline and online material that is available of any optional subject for that matter. Please go through the same and find out whether you are comfortable with it. So because optional subject is around 500 marks out of the 2025 marks out of which we are getting graded. So it is a very important decision which will I think decide your journey path from now on. Go through the subject matter upar se, go through the previous year question papers of the subject, and then decide whether you want to go for that optional subject. One can also go for the optional subject which he or she has done in their graduation, since graduation is one of the qualifying criteria for UPSC examination. So if you have already given 3 to 4 years of your life on
Yes.
that subject, I think you can also go for the same.
Yes. You know the basics. You know the understanding of the subject, and you
Yes.
can have a head start in that subject. Now I come to the importance of NCRT. How important are these books, and how to mug them up, and what are the the key areas where we should focus, and how much time we can dedicate to NCRT.
So there are a lot of questions.
Try to give I think putting up
Yes.
your ideas in better way.
Sir, I think NCRTs are very important because they give the basic foundation to our preparation. Usually, when we are in school, we do go through NCRTs. There must be some people who have not done NCRTs, or who are coming from DAV schools or ICSE board examinations. So I think they should go for those 6 to 12th books, especially the ones regarding history, civics, polity, science. So I think these are very geography as well. So because
Okay.
they provide us the foundation on which we can build further understanding. I'm not saying these are sufficient, but they are necessary. So it's a necessary but not sufficient thing. Regarding how to mug them up, I think it applies to everything. Revision is the key. Revision is the thing which is making you perfect, which is letting you remember the broader details as well as the finer print that is there. We have seen questions coming from NCRTs, not only from the data that is given, but also from the pictures that are
Yes.
depicted in the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
NCRTs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So please be very observant while doing NCRTs, and those are given in a very children friendly format. In my own case, I used to be very happy when I was going through NCRTs. And in my every attempt before prelims, I have gone through every NCRTs that is there. So I think for basic understanding, you must revise them. You must go through them. So there was one more question that what is the time, appropriate time that one should devote to the same? If you are going through the NCRTs for the very first time, I think you must be able to complete it within a month or so. But after that, in their second, third, fourth revision, the time should be very less because you have already gone through the NCRTs. You know the basic crux of what is going on there, and you only have to read the underlined stuff if you have done any.
Okay, very good. And for the candidates, we have devised one program, NCRT test series. We will be giving them three
Yes, sir.
different.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I went through the same. When you were giving the presentation, I saw that, and I was very happy because after reading the NCRT book, we can also assess whether we have
Yeah,
done it correctly or whether we have covered it uh, comprehensively or not.
yeah. So let me ask you now. We will go in systemic manner. So tell me about your strategy for prelims. Just keep it crisp and to the practical for beginners, especially the beginners.
Sir, for beginner, I think firstly I'm not the right person to guide for prelims because I failed in it twice. I but for beginners, I think go through the basic NCRTs, go through the standard textbooks that are there, go through the current affair materials, and then practice as much as you can because there are a lot of unusual questions being asked by UPSC. There are a lot of commonsensical questions being asked by the UPSC, wherein you can just get the answer by intelligent guesswork or by what we call a smart deduction, smart elimination of options. So therein the practice comes into effect. And the most important part regarding prelims preparation is that I think the mental preparation, wherein please make up your mind that you will be able to clear prelims because the answer is right in front of your eyes. You just have to be uh, stoic or alert enough to give or to mark that right.
Okay, okay. So students, we will refer the subject list and the book list in the last that has been given on our website also. Time is a constraint and the only luxury we don't have. Nupur, here also I'll ask you how to prepare for the current affairs because those events are very important for the prelims exam part of point of view.
Sir, current affairs, I think, is not only important for prelims but mains as well as interview. Usually, the students or the aspirants tend to skip the newspapers because they think that they can go on and see some current affair video online or go through the current affair material that is posted online. But I would like to advise that please don't skip the newspapers. Do go through at least one newspaper on a daily basis religiously because sir, when we go through the newspapers,
Yeah.
firstly the understanding of the topic is much more compared to what we get out of the current affair materials. Apart from the newspapers, there are a lot of monthly magazines or or current affair magazines that come online as well as offline. One can stick to the same. And I think it's not about doing the current affairs, it's also about doing their backward linkages, be it through Lakshmikant, be it through the geographical terms that are there, be it through location of the various places that are in news, in international news especially. And I think apart from all these things, do revise on a weekly basis or a monthly basis because it's the revision that plays the key. If you are not able to reproduce the current affairs examples in your answer sheets or let's say in your prelims mock test papers, that would go into a waste.
Okay. Okay. One more question I got from someone
Sir, one
asking
is
for.
also asking about the newspapers.
Uh,
So you can go for any of the newspapers, the Hindu or the Indian Express. And if you are coming from a commerce background, you can also go for the selected sections of the Financial Times or the Business Times, etc. Economic Times,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Candidate, you must know that prelims is only of qualifying nature. It's like a screening sort of thing. And the marks attained at prelim stage will not be counted for making your final merit list. Marks attained at mains paper, that is 7 papers out of 9 papers at writing stage will be counted for your final selection. So I come to the main stage and I'll ask Nupur, when one should start writing answers? This is the question I think multiple people ask me, when one can start writing answers.
Uh, Sir, it depends on individual basis. I think when uh, one is done with 1 to 2 readings of the syllabus, that is the appropriate time when one should start writing answers. But let's say if a person is writing the next year's exam, that is 2021 while attempt, so he must be able to write answers right from January or February, let's say, because usually it's considered that one should be prepared uh, at least for the mains examination at least a year before, so that one is able to revise and then practice the same. So I think uh, and even if you have not completed the revision or you have not completed the syllabus, I think answer writing doesn't hurt anyone. You
Yeah.
should must go for answer writing, because answer writing is the only thing which is giving you 1750 marks, which is a lot. So I think one must be thorough with the answer writing. One must not only work with the time management, with completing those 20 questions within a time frame of 3 hours, but also bring in the qualitative aspect. That is, one must be able to only not only give answers, but give answers in a nice manner, in a presentable manner, so
Mhm.
that the marks fetched are much higher than others.
Okay, okay. So how did you manage your time during the main papers? Like 3 hours, 20 questions, and almost 4,000 words. So how did you manage your time? You focused on quantity, or you tried to escape the difficult questions and left them blank, and focused more on your key questions and attempted them very well?
Sir, I focused on both quantity as well as quality. In my
Okay,
case, I used to start with the questions that are of higher marks. I used to start with question number 11 or
okay,
question number 20, because they were of 15 marks each. From question number 11 to 20 are 15 markers, whereas question 1 to 10 are 10 markers.
10 marks,
So
150 words. Yeah.
yeah, so I used to complete the 15 markers first, because our mind is very fresh at that point of time, and we can go for a number of innovations like making a diagram, like inserting a table, like in going for a factual data in those areas. But at the same time, I focused that I'm not leaving any of the questions blank. I'm
Mm.
writing. Even in the questions in which I knew nothing about, I wrote something. There is a question last year in GS3, which was a science and technology question. It asked about the cyber dome. I knew nothing about it, but all I did was to make a dome in the answer sheet, that this is how the dome works. And since it's a cyber dome, so it must be
Yeah, yeah,
preventing the
cyber
cyber
related.
attacks. So I drew a lot of cyber attacks. Okay, this is attacking, so it is preventing the computer, the network,
Yeah,
and I think it worked. I mean, uh, the since the examiner is not giving us any negative marks, I think
yes.
he must have awarded me 1 to 2 marks, and those 1 to 2 marks really matter in the long run.
Yes, 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 really matters. Uh, the beginners usually ask how how much time needed on daily basis. Like आपने कितने hours तक पढ़ाई करी है? And toppers claim that they read around 8 to 10 hours on daily basis. So, what is your take, Nupur?
Sir, I would like to quote your own statement here. It doesn't matter about the number of hours, but what matters is the discipline in your life. So, in my case, sir, I used to have a daily target kind of thing. I used to note down what I would be achieving on the daily basis, and based on that target, whether I used to study. Uh, it since my journey was very long, so the number of hours that I used to devote also varied a lot. There were sometimes they were 12 to 14 as well, and sometimes they were just 3 to 4. But I think since a lot of aspirants here are freshly into the preparation, I like to suggest them that please be disciplined. Please make sure that you are at least giving in 6 to 8 hours on a daily basis. But that also depends on an individual basis. A person can be the one who's a slow learner and might need 12 to 14 hours for doing the same topic as someone else who's doing the same in, let's say, 5 to 6 hours. But what matters is you are giving in your 100% when you are studying. You are not being distracted by other things, by the social media or by your mobile phones at that point of time. So the number of hours doesn't matter, but the quality of hours, yes, they do.
Great. I have seen your ethics marks. So, how did you maximize the score in ethics paper?
Um, Sir, ethics paper consists of two sections. One is the theoretical part, and the other is the case study part. For the case study part, especially this year, the paper was very tough because the case studies were very unconventional. Uh, so I think in ethics paper, the most important thing is to practice a number of case studies. Do go through a number of case studies from diverse areas, reading the newspapers, and then connecting it with the ethics paper also helps, because from there we get the current examples, the international examples, the anecdotes, etc. So at the same time, I think for writing down the subjective questions, if we are able to quote from the lives of big personalities, then they also help a lot. And I would also like to quote that please don't just stick to Gandhiji while writing your ethics paper. There are a number of great personalities as well. So yes, Gandhiji is one of the name which can be associated with every ethical quality over there, ethical value. But you have to work upon finding out others' names as well. And the more dynamic they are, the more recent they are, the more marks you will get. So that's also, I think ethics paper is more about uh, connecting the newspapers with the ethics syllabus and your own life examples, rather than going through any material that is there.
Okay, okay. So, did you become practical or you were more like on ethical lines in case study?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
Did you become practical while suggesting solutions in the case studies, or you developed your answers based on ethical school of thoughts?
Sir, I think we should go for the practical solution. We can always mention the two extremes of the answer, one being the idealistic solution, the other being the most unethical solution, the escapist approach. But while solving the case study, I think one must go through the most appropriate and practical thing that can be achieved on ground, because this is what the examiner is, I think, looking for. And
Looking
this
for.
is what as administrators we are about to do.
Okay. And how did you manage your time in paper four? It is named that it consumes time and people come out and attempting few questions. So were you able to attend all the questions in section A and section B?
Sir, thanks to the various number of mock papers that I had solved earlier. I had solved a number of ethics test papers. So thanks to them, I was able to complete the paper. So the two sections, one is of 130 marks, the other is of 120 marks. So they
Yeah.
both are equally important in nature. And as I have already told, every single mark count in the final selection. So I gave equal time to both the sections. I completed the case study part in around 1 hour 35 to 40 minutes and gave the remaining time to the section A. I used to do section B first, then section A, and then I used to attempt section A. So I think yes, sir. I attempted all the questions. I and I
Okay.
think that was just because of the 8 to 9 ethics mock test papers that I had solved earlier.
Okay. How did you prepare for your essay paper? Now we come to the essay paper. That is again very important and I think most neglected paper.
Yes, sir. As you very rightly pointed out, that in spite of carrying
Equal.
250 marks,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
equal
equal
weightage.
marks. It's in spite of being the most scoring of all,
Again, yes,
wherein
yes.
we even get the choice of selecting 1 out of 4. That is the most neglected part in the UPSC preparation, usually neglected by all the aspirants. So I think one should and one must practice essay. uh, Sir, we can go through the previous year question papers of UPSC wherein different essays are already asked by UPSC. One should attempt writing essay not only on conventional topics like health, education, women empowerment, but also on unconventional ones. For example, the philosophical topics, which are right now trending in the UPSC arena. So, and in terms of essay, sir, I think the most important thing is the blueprint of the essay. While writing
Blueprint
an
of
essay,
essay. Okay. Yes, yes.
while
Can you please?
writing the essay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Blueprint of an essay. Okay, good.
yes, sir. I think while writing the essay, after selecting the topic of the essay on which you are going to write the essay, one must prepare the blueprint very honestly. And UPSC always give us two rough answer sheets in the essay paper. So uh, use them, write down all the points that come to your mind, then arrange them in a sequential way of how you would like to structure your essay. Do make sure that you are adding in a lot of dimensions in the essay. So usually we see that the essay is becomes too factual or becomes too shallow or becomes too difficult to read. So it's one of my requests to all of you that whenever you are writing essay, give it to your mentors, to teachers, but at the same time, do give it to your friends who are not in this preparation. Do give it to your cousins or family members who are not preparing at all. If they are able to connect with your essay, then your job is done. Your language should be so fluid in nature and it should be easy to understand, so that even a person who's just a 10th pass student should be able to get something out of your essay, and at the same time make it so informative and dynamic that a university professor is able to say, yeah, okay, he has done a good work in the essay. So I think this is the key, and do make sure that you are covering a number of dimensions in the same. For example, even if the topic which you think is philosophical in nature, do come up with the politics example, with the current affairs, with the sports example, with the personalities from historical perspective, with society, with the women, with everything which is there. So I think this is the crux of essay.
Okay, okay. So what are the key areas you should try to connect the dots in your essay? Like it should
Sir,
be
I
the statement given in the like now. eight topics given in the paper, or we can divide some some key areas in and around. We can frame the essay.
So the topic of the essay is the most important, wherein the actual theme of the essay is given. We should try to bring that theme in the other dimensions. For example, so there was an essay in this year's paper wherein it was regarding the primary health and primary education. So we had to focus on not only healthcare but also primary education. Whenever there are 2 to 3 topics given in a single topic of the essay, do make sure that you are giving equal attention to all of them, because equal attention will make your essay more structured in a way. But at the same time, as sir rightly pointed out, there are some key areas on which you must connect. For example, you should talk about the society, you should talk about the polity, the constitutional amendments or the constitutional articles that are already there, the various steps taken by the government regarding the same, the various steps taken by the civil society in that any. The current affair examples. Sir, herein I would also like to advise all of them that if please go through the articles written in Yojana and Kurukshetra, because they usually tell us how to start an essay and how to end the one. Since they are government publications and they are widely available as well, uh, they are the important sources of how one should approach the ending as well as the starting, because they usually uh, give a lasting impact on the examiner.
Okay, great, great. So I was expecting this answer. This is the linking with the polity, society, history, literature, economics, and the current event, even up to that level, that sustainability, environmental impact of climate change, and the new happenings in and around the country and in the world. Those things can be clubbed together, give can be given a good perspective as per your subject line. Okay.
Yes, sir. I think if we are able to club them together, depending on the topic of the essay, we can. And if we think that, for example, there was one essay which was all about climate change in last year. So in that, we had to just write about sustainability, about the various practices, about the preparedness regarding climate change. In that, I think we had to divide all these things in different paragraphs. But my focus area is even the paragraph and the number of words that you will be writing on the given essay should be thought by one person while writing the blueprint itself, so that one is not thinking and writing, one is only writing while writing.
Very good. So we can make the blueprint for both the essays
Sir,
in the
we
beginning
can,
only.
sir, yes, sir. No, sir. Uh,
One
Write
blueprint
one blueprint.
for one essay, and then
Yes, sir.
write it, and then again come to the second essay, make a blueprint,
Yes, sir.
and then
Then
write the
again,
second.
blueprint.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, even sir, essay is one of the areas wherein we can also quote the movies, the film stars,
Yes,
the
examples can be
various,
used.
yeah, even the hobby part of us comes into play while writing essay, and they make
Okay.
it very dynamic in nature.
Yes, yes. The most innovative paper, I think, where we can put up our
Yes, sir.
thoughts in the most lucid manner and we can try to connect with the examiners. So,
Yes,
how
sir.
to start the introduction part? This is the last one, I think, and the conclusion also, if you can give us some insight.
Uh, Sir, usually the people have now started to start the essay with an anecdote, but I would advise anecdote is a short story about which revolves around the topic of the essay. You can also go through the same, I mean, start the essay by the same thing. But I think please come up with the anecdote only when you think it is relevant to the topic of the essay. Uh, and do make sure that even when you are writing the body or the conclusion, you are able to connect with your anecdote which you wrote in the starting. So I think that really makes an impact. The second good, uh, sir, it's a personal opinion, but I think this the second uh, way of writing the introduction is, I think, by starting it with a number of facts or the rank of India in various parameters on various indices. So I think that also helps. We can
Okay.
also start the essay by just explaining the topic of the essay. So, say for example, in this year's paper, there was an essay about
Yes, yes.
courage to accept the defeat and then improving upon it are the two major pillars of the success. Herein, I started off with one of the recent current examples at that time, wherein there was a Paralympic uh, athlete who got defeated a number of times by one of the competitor, and finally she achieved success by defeating the same athlete. So I thought that she was a very appropriate example. But while writing the second essay, which was regarding the primary health and primary education, I started off with my essay by giving a number of facts regarding how India is doing on various fronts economically, uh, in ease of doing business, or and then how it is lagging behind in health and education. So, and so now coming to the conclusion part, I think conclusion part should be the most constructive part in the essay. Even if the topic asked is very negative, one must aspire to give a very positive reply, a positive ending to the same. Sir, one can always uh, end the essay by giving some quote or by giving some good line, some speech. I wrote. So there is a very famous line, "हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब." I I wrote that in my second essay in the primary health and education, wherein I just wrote, "We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall
Yes,
overcome one day."
yes, yes.
So,
Yeah.
so the end conclusion can be different. It can be anything. It can be a quote. It can be a slok. It can be a song. It can be anything.
Great, great. Must be having the futuristic contours. Okay. So these were the like do's, must do's. Few lines on don't for the civil services experience. If that comes from you, I think that is the best advice. Some
Please
don't.
don't please don't underline the essay. I have seen people underlining almost everything in the essay they think is important, because uh, when we are underlining the essay, we should remember that we are actually hampering the flow of the reading. So, at most, please underline only 4 words in one page. So, please don't underline more than 4 words. So, I think that is the only don't which I want to give, because otherwise essay is such a flexible paper. You
No,
can make
that
diagrams.
comes that comes with do's also. That one should underline few key key points where you would like to highlight them to the examiners. People keep saying that examiner, I think, does not go through the whole page. Is it true? Do you feel that this like overwhelmed?
Sir, I think while sitting in the examination, while giving a UPSC civil services examination, we should trust
Yes,
UPSC and its
yes,
examiners as well, that irrespective of whether we have underlined or not, they are uh, they are going through our
yes,
paper. Sir,
yes.
and very interestingly, this year, the one thing that I changed in my answer sheets was I stopped underlining. I didn't underline a single thing. I just wrote subheadings in my answers. I made a box out of them, but I didn't underline, because I thought, because this was told to me by one of my teachers, that whatever you are writing is important. So please stop underlining, because it's making it more clumsy in nature. So I think, yes, do underline, but to a limited extent. Please don't underline everything that you are writing in the paper.
Okay. That brings to me to the question. Somebody asked me about writing, drawing the maps or flowchart. People keep saying that you should draw maps here and there. I don't know. Do you buy this argument?
Sir, making
Like,
a flowchart
yeah,
or
yeah.
the map, I think if it is adding to the value of your answer, then only you should go for it. But otherwise, if it is not adding anything to the answer that you have written, please don't make it for the sake of filling the answer sheet, because it would not give you any extra marks. And in spite, it would take away 1 to 2 minutes from those 3 hours, which are very crucial in nature. Sir, at the same time, I think by making flowchart, if we are able to make it in such a manner that it is catering to the demand of the question, or it is making it more presentable in nature, then only one should go for it. But at the same time, do make sure that you are not making those flowcharts or maps in every question, because if you are making those in all the 20 questions, that will take away the charm or the plus factor, the X factor from the question itself. Do
Great.
make them, but in a limited sense. I think one shouldn't make them after 7 to 8 questions. इससे ज्यादा बनाते हैं तो फिर एग्जामिनर उसमें नंबर देना छोड़ देंगे शायद.
Yes. Okay, last question from my end, then I'll open up this for the discussion. Any book list, like any must-read core books you can suggest to them?
Sir, I think they are already available on the site. Uh,
Okay.
so they can always go through the same. And I think you
GS3
are
and
only
GS4.
asking.
GS3 and GS4.
Sir,
I
for
think most
GS3,
dynamic. Yeah. These are the most dynamic papers, paper 2 and paper 3, and GS paper 4 being more like on writing skill.
so for GS3, I think the one thing which is usually neglected is the economic survey. All the aspirants must go through the economic survey cover to cover. That means please go through it. Don't go through it summary, but please read it. I'm sorry, sir. Sir,
Yes,
just a
please.
moment.
Yeah, please.
So for GS3, now one is economic survey, the second is budget. One must also go through the budget. Going through the newspapers on a religious basis, um, taking out the content from there to be written in the answers also helps. So I think for GS2, for having an extra edge, one can go through the ARC reports, the Administrative Reform Committee reports, and one can always uh, mention it while writing answers that this is what I have taken from ARC report. This also helps. Regarding paper 4, I think apart from the basic textbook that is there, one can go for and one should go for the ARC committee report on on ethics and governance. That is the fourth report of the second ARC this in 2010. I think it involves a number of flow diagrams and the flow charts, maps, etc., which can not only increase our understanding regarding ethics paper, but also enrich our answer writing as well.
Great. Uh, Technical team, please unmute the other participants. Now the forum is open for question and answer. Anybody would like to ask anything from Nupur? Yes.
So there's a question asked to me by Ria in which she's saying that she's in the second year of university. Should she start the preparation with NCRTs and then step up to the reference books, or subject wise covering both NCRTs and reference books?
Yeah.
So my advice would be to do the NCRTs first and then move up to the reference books. Um, But when she is revising the same, she can go for the subject wise revision.
Nupur, I would like to tell Dia, we have launched our college integration program. That will be like without disturbing their academics at college. So it will be like 3 years foundation course for the graduating students. They can integrate their civil services preparation with their college. I think this will be the best approach and the best utilization of resources, including time. What is happening on an average in India, the graduating students, like they come out from the college at the age of 20 to 19, 20 years, and average age at Labasna must be around 27, 28. Am I right, Nupur?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to plug that 7 to 8 years ka time page. And in that case, I think I thought of rolling out this program for college students. If they can integrate their college life with the future preparation, I think that can be the best strategy. I cannot claim that it will be the best for like coming out with the flying colors, but I can say them that it will reduce the time for the preparation post graduation. So, what is your take, Nupur, on this program? Like, do you feel that this has got any efficacy? If we can
Yes, sir.
integrate, yeah,
I think it's a great initiative, sir. The sooner we start, the better it is.
yeah,
In my case, I started off with the in the fourth year of my college preparation. But I think if I would have done it in a in I think first or second year, I would not have taken 6 years to reach this stage. So I think it's a good initiative, sir.
technical team, please share our proposal with Nupur madam and with the candidates also for the college integration program. Okay, anybody else would like to know anything from Nupur?
So there are other questions as well. There is a question from Rushikesh Salumkhe in which he's asking, should I prepare pre and main simultaneously or separately? So I think the preparation for both of them should go simultaneously. You should prepare for mains initially, and then when the prelims is coming in, तो उसके 2-3 महीने पहले you can start off your
Switch
preparation,
over to, yeah.
exclusive preparation for prelims. Otherwise, not only the syllabus but also the material that is for prelims and mains is same. So I think the preparation for both of them go hand in hand. Uh,
We
so
have
there
given
is a
importance
question.
to, yeah, we have given importance to this aspect in our program, Sampurna, Niyantra and Problem. We will be taking on these eventualities in integrated fashion. And we will also launch the prelims exclusive program in the month of January or February. Okay.
So there is a question from Nitin. He's saying that he's an architect and he works in an office on an 8 to 10 hours basis. So
Yeah.
can he manage to cover up the syllabus? And he is asking for some tips. So yes, it's doable. Uh, do make sure that you are using the breaks in between in a very judicious manner. Just try to finish off the newspaper in the office, or the basic material which you are taking in there. So usually we get 5 to 10 minutes break or some breathers in between, rather than indulging in office gossip or office politics, or rather than going out with the friends. One can always devote that time towards studies. I know it's difficult. I have prepared for interview when I was in services. I was in job. I know it becomes difficult. It's very time taking. It's very toll taking, but it is doable. It is not something which can't be done. And there are a lot of friends of mine, sir, here as well, who are in the full time job, and in spite of the same, they cleared the exam. So they are. I think they can be a big motivator for you. At the same time, whenever the weekend or whenever you get any holiday, uh, please make a full use of it. Please don't go out partying, or please don't do unnecessary stuff, but rather devote their time to studies at that time.
Yes, I would like to tell Nathan, we have Nirantar program that is for unstoppable professionals like you. So that has been customized as per the time constraints and availability. We will be delivering Saturday and Sunday classes, and we will provide you the flexibility in attempting your paper. So you can explore that option also. Anybody else would like to know anything from Nupur? It's getting
So
late,
there
I
are a
know.
lot of questions in my chat box. I am trying to answer as much as I can.
Yeah.
Sir, there's a question from Sindhumati. I am in first year of Siddha Medicine and I'm giving my exam in 2024. So what kind of qualities can I develop, or what kind of habits and study practices or skills should I develop in these 3 years along with my college? So I think, sir, what should I say? Please be disciplined. Please
Yes.
read the newspaper very religiously in those 3 years. Please brush up your current affairs, and please do well in your college as well, because your marks also count. And if you happen to take the same optional subject as your graduation subject, then you are already preparing for those 500 marks in mains. But that was a very nice question. uh,
Pooja
so,
Anchan, would you like to ask anything?
so there is a question from Mayuresh. Can I have self-study for UPSC, or is it necessary for having any program? Uh, so I think, thanks to the ICT era we live in, we have a number of online material as well. And yes, you can always go for self-study. And even if you are going for any online mentoring or online or offline coaching, then also you will have to self-study, because this is the examination wherein you work on your own self, and that
Yes.
you can do by only studying your own self. So
Yes.
self study is something which you can't forgo, and you can always crack UPSC civil services examination by only self study. And sir,
Yes.
I think your website also gives a number of free resources
Yes.
that he or she can look up to.
Yes. Yes. I started by disclaiming it that I am not a success guru. You only require a mentor. So in that case, like we can provide you a very good mentor who can be a buddy in your journey. I think very well said by you that the courses and material are available abundantly. You have to pick up as per your requirement, customize it, and like enrich it. And you should get good feedback as and when required. I also attach the importance to the valuable feedback that can come on time. Okay.
So there is a
If,
question from Arpit Agrawal saying, can you please suggest when to revise the portion which we have studied, when at the same time we are studying or focusing on some other subject? So I think there is no such strategy of revising uh, the said portion, but I think uh, in night or so you can always go through the things that you have done uh, during the day, and after a week of study, uh, give one day solely for revision, solely for going through the material that you have already gone through in the last week. Because I think it's not about doing a number of sources, but rather doing the syllabus from limited sources but revising it multiple times. So revision is the key, and the more you are able to retain, the better you will be able to understand, and the better you will be able to reproduce in mains as well as in interview.
Puna ma'am, any thought from your end, ma'am? You have been our faculty, you have been our instructors. So I would like to know, like quick 2 3 points from your end for the benefit of the participants.
So I think Nupur Nupur dear has already given so many wonderful points that can really help all the aspirants in the future. And I think she has covered most of the points. So if all the students, if all the aspirants are going to follow her footsteps, then definitely they'll do wonders in the future exams.
Okay.
And all the best to everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, anybody else would like to know anything from Nupur? I'm opening the Pandora's box.
Sir, there is another question. How can I connect with you if needed, if any guidance in future? One can
You
be
get
through Verma
along?
sir. Is
Yeah, yeah. You get
one
along.
can be through sir. He can always connect me to you.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I'm also there on Instagram and Twitter by my own name. So you can always go there and ask your doubts if any. I usually go and check the inbox there.
Okay. Okay. Vivek sir is there, Nupur. Hello,
Anji
good
sir.
afternoon, sir. Vivek
Hello
sir, good
sir.
afternoon.
Namaskar sir.
Hello, Nupur. Hello, LC. How are you?
All good, sir. All
Uh,
good. Positive, sir.
Very
We
good.
were just
Well,
listening you, sir. Nupur is there with us from
Nupur,
Labasna.
congrats. Once again, we met now for the first time, I think. Second time after
ye-
interview.
yes sir. So virtually first time, I mean face to face. It's very nice to see you sir.
Yes, same here.
Thanks a lot sir for guiding me through the
Not at
same,
all.
through the
How's the
interview
training going?
preparation. It's going good, sir. Because of the outburst of COVID cases here, we have all been quarantined. But otherwise, the training and the environment here is fantastic. The other
Right.
friends, the other people who have joined in are also very good. I have I am making some lifelong friends here, and the environment here is also very nice.
Yes.
It's a very nice relief from Delhi's chilling winters or Delhi's pollution. But yes, and
Yes,
the
yes.
campus is beautiful, sir.
Yes, campus is beautiful. I've been there for induction training. And I have also, yeah, there is a batchmate of yours, Darpan, Dr. Darpan in IPS. Have you met
Yes,
her?
sir. Yes, sir. Dr. Dalpan Luwalia.
She's been in webinars with us and she's from Chandigarh, very bright also. So very
Yes,
good,
sir. She is
nice,
very nice.
very nice.
She's a good friend of mine, sir.
Good, give say my hi to her.
Sure, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
our students like Pari Vishnoi, Ruchi Bindal, Rashpreet, all are there, sir.
All are there, say my hi to everyone.
Sir, any pearls of wisdom for Nupur, sir, in the Labasna? Because
Yes, sir.
I've told her that she has to top this foundation course also.
Yeah. I have also sent an email to Mr. Chopra, the director, with my details, and they had been in touch with me last year for some sessions. So we might be meeting there also sometime.
Oh, we're looking forward to it, sir. Sir,
Okay.
any advice for me, sir, here?
Advice for you and everybody who's watching, basically be balanced. Balance is the key. Because when we
Yes, sir.
are going too much in one direction, then we are obsessed with something, we become kind of OCD about something, then it becomes a counterproductive thing. So enjoy your life and also enjoy your work and be balanced. That means that we give enough time to our personal development, self-development, family time. We give time to our work, and adequate balance has to be there. And then we enjoy life more and we get more results also. So the thing that I was discussing with Sudha Murthy online, LC Verma ji knows I had a session with her. I believe she also
Sir, we
spoke.
had a session of her as well.
Yeah, you had a session of her. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I got to know. So I was discussing with her that if you are desperate for something or running after something too much, of course you have to work hard and be focused. But when you are desperate, then that thing keeps eluding you. And when your level of desperation becomes more balanced and constructive, then you find it becomes easier. So that is the key. So stay strong and happy. That's the only advice.
Thank you, sir. Sir, it was nice meeting you here.
Be in
Okay,
touch.
Nupur, thank you very much. I think you're getting late.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Namaskar and
All the
hoping
best.
you all the best.